You had mentioned to me that you had, um, I think you had auditioned for Atlantis at some point, or maybe later on in SG1, and they said you're too recognizable as Maybourne.
Oh no, I actually got sent the audition to do it, and then it was canceled before I got there, just because they said no, everyone knows you as Mayborn, and we can't bring in here as somebody else. No, I understand that totally.
I do
Uh,
too, but it still
but
sucks. You know,
I,
the other actors have come in. Garwin Sanford, Ona Gauer. They've played other people with the same face. It just
yeah,
seems
true.
frustrating.
Um, well, I do know back in the old days. Let's see if I can remember which one it was. Well, some of the Cannell stuff we got in Cannell stuff over and over and over again. In oh come on Tom, uh, oh golly,
It's okay.
um, uh, oh this is really weird because it's one of the big series that came out of Vancouver for years.
Give me
X
more.
Files.
Ah, okay. Okay.
X Files. I was three different characters there.
Yeah.
That's so they didn't care. Like you'd come back and people understood you were an actor.
Yeah.
But as I think as things have moved on, that kind of stuff doesn't happen as much anymore. It's pretty tough to come on and play different characters and stuff.
Uh, Unobfuscated wanted to know what was your relationship like with the cast off camera, considering your character, especially so early on, was so antagonistic.
Uh, you know, that was one of the greatest sets to arrive on. Everyone, through the producers, the crew, the camera people, and the act, and I believe the actors set the tone for it.
Mm.
They were. It was when you got a call that you were coming back to that set, you just went, oh gosh, and you come back and you were just embraced as part of the family. And they appeared, you know, whether they were just good actors or not, I don't know, but they appeared to really enjoy having you back. You know, it was it was awfully nice. You know, nice. It was exhilarating.
Claire Cowan wanted to know what it was like being directed by Amanda Tapping in Travelers.
Uh, oh my. Well,
Another
that
great
was
role.
well. It was. It's too bad it was only the one episode.
This is true. It was a good
I thought
show.
it. Gosh, what was the name of the character? It was a French name. Beau something. Beau something.
Ellis.
Sorry.
Ellis. Traveler 0014 was a farmer.
Oh, I'm sorry. We weren't talking about her episode. We were talking about. Sorry, we're talking about that series. I thought we were talking about her show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about Travelers. Didn't
Which one?
Amanda guest?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she
Yes. No,
directed that one.
that well, you know, she's. Yeah, once in a while, you look over and you see her being serious with somebody about something, but most of the time, uh, it's a great pleasure. You know, and that was God. I had fun on that one too. That was a ton of fun, and I thought since I had such a low number, they would never kill me on that.
That's right. 001. This is one of the earlier Travelers. If you have not seen that series, go check out Travelers. It is fantastic. Brad Wright, 3 seasons. It's a good binge. So
Yeah, yeah, and you'd always have to keep asking Brad questions to try and understand the concept of the.
absolutely, he's so far ahead. You know, and the audience were like, "What's more information? More from you just got to wait." So, the
Yeah, yeah.
Time Prophet. Have you always been able to remember your lines, or did you develop a technique for learning lines and retaining them? I'm always curious about this as asking actors because I can never remember a sentence to save my life without reading it.
It's really weird because as I'm getting older, uh, I worry about that more than anything. And trying to learn in 2 days, 3 or 4 pages for an audition is I need at least that much time now. And
Yeah.
still then, if there's too many sentences with too much description and names of chemicals or people or places, I I want it to be correct. And if I miss one thing, I fall apart. I can't keep going. I never did have a real facility and was never trained to have the facility to improvise. And I never had much practice at it. And one of the one of the things I may have to practice is as I'm moving into this thing of not really having the lines down 200% of being able to continue. Um, uh, I never used to see. No, I always did have trouble with too much description of stuff. Um, uh, One of the techniques that you use when you've done enough series television is you just say I'm starting over and you go back without a cut. But you got to know when and how to do that. And I haven't done enough TV in the last 4 or 5 years to know when I can do that anymore. So I wouldn't be comfortable trying to do it. I just say, sorry, we have to do that again. Instead of just saying, go back to the beginning, bang, and start over. Because that editing process, as an actor, I've not been involved in this business long enough uh, to really keep that idea in my head that, of course, it's all being edited. Um, so I do like to have for auditions. I love to have lines for a couple of days. That doesn't always happen, but more and more now we are auditioning at home. Uh, so we're doing our own at home auditions with our blue screen or blue sheet behind us with the lighting we have and the sirens or the dogs barking outside. Um, and with really no feedback from a director or from a casting director. Um, they do say that they are amazed at the number of people they can now see, which they couldn't when they had to have actors come to their studios to do the auditions, that they can see a much broader base of people. And it may be one of the reasons why some of you feel you're not getting the work you should.
Yeah, Tony Amendola was telling us that at any one time, typically 6% of actors are working. That's, wow, that's
I don't
small.
What the percentages are. They say if you get 1 in 10 auditions, you're doing fine. I think I get 1 in 16 or 20. And sometimes I can go through, even in the good days, I could go 3 or 4 or 5 months and do numbers of auditions and not get something. And eventually you start to go, well, there must be something wrong.
Well, on top of that, that's a lot of gasoline and a lot of time spent working on material that, doesn't see the light of day.
Nowadays, nowadays I'm not in as much of a rush to get work, simply because it's work. So, I've had a long talk with my agent back and forth about what kind of roles are out there, and I say, well, if you think that you were an actor once, if you think this is interesting as an actor, let me read it. But if it's the uncle or the father or the next door neighbor on a Hallmark, forget it.
Thank you for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up with that like button. It will encourage the algorithm to show this to other Stargate fans. Also, please consider sending this to a fellow Stargate friend. I also want to invite you to subscribe to future episodes right here on YouTube. We are a live show, so changes are likely to happen all the time. And if you plan on joining us live, you'll want to be the first to know. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com for the complete guest schedule so you'll know when to join us and ask your very own questions to our guests. See you on the other side.